Hello, everyone, and welcome to Your Health in Your Hands. I'm, as you know, Dr. David Ajibade with the Brain and Body Foundation, and we are continuing this month, which is the National or Worldwide Sickle Cell Disease Month. Nigeria being number one in the world, and the Nigerian government having given us the Brain and Body Foundation, and of course, yours truly, the authority and the mandate really to address sickle cell disease in Nigeria. And we're hoping that the things that we're doing in collaboration with the government and other organizations will not just be limited to Nigeria, but will help to spread around the world, because it's not just Nigeria. Nigeria is number one, but we know that there are lots of people suffering from sickle cell disease in India, the rest of Africa. I think Congo is pretty big too. The Arab countries, South America, my goodness, Mediterranean countries as well. So it's a lot bigger than what is expected. And it is unfair. It is absolutely deplorable that, especially in countries like Nigeria and other third world countries, I hate that we still call Nigeria a third world country, but it is terrible that kids by the age of 50 to 75% of them will not live to see their fifth birthday. That is unacceptable. But what is even more tragic, is it more tragic? But what is even worse, in my opinion, are those who even live, who continue to, who survive past the age of 5, and who have a worse form of the disease, who have to suffer each day. They're weak. They can't, as far as I'm concerned, they're a boy. The boy should be able to pick up, should be able to hold up, stand up for himself. If he gets into a fight, he should be able to fight back and not be afraid that he's going to pass out because of a condition. Boys should be boys and girls should be girls. They should do whatever they need to do. And they should not be limited by these, certainly not by sickle cell disease, because quite frankly, we know from our experience with the foundation, we know that if they are given the right nutrients and they're taken care of properly, they can live very close to a normal life. That's what we found out from the work that we've been doing. And of course, you can see tons and tons of video testimonials on our website and on the social media platforms. So it hasn't been done by ourselves alone. It's been through the work and through the collaborations that we've had with other experts and other healthcare professionals, like the person we have on today. So welcome back, Funmi. Thank you for making it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And we enjoyed your discussion last week. Now we're going to be talking more about your initiative, your foundation, what you're trying to do to help other parents like yourself. So tell us about it.
Once again, thank you for the opportunity. So our journey, I think I shared, the journey and the revelation that with some changes, then our son could live better than what he was living. Now, during the pandemic, I came to realize how frightening this must be for other parents out there. And at that point, we were in a position where we had, I would say, close to 6 months experience of the holistic way. And when I say holistic way, I mean taking a multifaceted approach to how we deal with sickle cell, being, focusing upon the diet, focusing upon nutrition, supplements, mindset, a number of different things. So when the pandemic here in the UK, anyone impacted by sickle cell is deemed clinically vulnerable, having to shield. And I remember feeling more empowered, because by this point we had seen a change in our son. We had seen that the crisis was less. We were not running helter-skelter to the hospital. During the pandemic, I don't think there's anyone that was happy to go into the hospital. But unfortunately, somebody living with sickle cell, that could be, that very often is the reality. So I remember feeling like, okay, I feel this way. I really want to reach out to other parents and find out who else has taken alternative approaches, and also how can I share what I've learned. So we did a small crowd fund. We raised some money and we were providing what we called wellness packages for parents of children. And in those packages, we put things like elderberry syrup. We were giving this to our son for, as an immune booster. Also bits of advice around nutrition. We put in affirmation cards because, thinking positively, the mindset, what you speak into existence, I really believe in those things. So it was more of a case of, because over the years I really felt alone, and I wanted to become that kind of organization that was really there for other parents like myself. So we launched this campaign. We set up the charity is called Crescent Kids, and we supplied close to 100 families with wellness packs during the pandemic. And
wow,
yeah,
fantastic.
that was our start really with this organization. And we are, contacted by many parents, around the world that say, thank you for sharing your story, that say we were not aware of this, and that are opening their eyes to a way of managing. Because one thing, when you have a chronic condition, the one thing that helps you through is hope. When there's no hope, there's really no future. And the only thing that helped us was being hopeful that this is not going to be a death sentence. And when you see that light, then you can hold on to that. So a lot of the parents that were seeing our change with our son, obviously you are wanting to be like that as well. And one thing that I will share that was inspiration to the work that we're doing is a lady called Tamika Mosley, who is an author. She published a book about her son, and I reached out to her and we had a conversation, and she really helped to direct my mind around what could be done for my son. I implemented these things and I saw a difference. So I then became that person that was giving other people hope as well. So that's what we're doing today. We run every Saturday, we run a free, we call it a boot camp session, a kids wellness boot camp. And the reason it's every Saturday is because it's very easy to have a new idea and then to drop it a couple of weeks or even a month later. But what I've realized is that this is a lifestyle. It's not something that you pick up now and then you drop later. You have to consistently make these changes. So we make sure that we are there. It's a live workshop every single Saturday, 4 p.m. BST. And we work with parents. We do things like, we talk about, breathing, the importance of breathing, deep breathing, the importance of mindset, nutrition, what kinds of foods for the different countries that you're in as well, what is accessible, buying these foods on a budget, how do you get your child to take these supplements, how do you educate the child? So the whole thing is around, educating, empowering, and engaging with the sickle cell community. One other thing is we want to really normalize the conversation because there's a lot of stigma attached.
Yeah.
People do not want to talk about it. What I've realized is that if you don't talk about an issue, then it's very hard to get a solution. And people are suffering unnecessarily because of the stigma attached, especially in Nigeria, around sickle cell. And the notion is, don't talk about it, don't tell anybody. So we try and be as open as we can, because ultimately there's a child there that is potentially suffering, and we need to do something about it. So that's our work. We are also working to create an app which we will help us to impact more people. Technology. Sorry.
I want us to go into that, but I don't want to be interrupted by a break. So what we're going to do is we'll take a break now, because I'm particularly interested in this app. Technology can do such wonderful things for everybody. Yeah. And there's been having access to something that someone somewhere on the other side of the world creates that can help you and your child. I think that's significant. So I don't want us to interrupt that time. So we're going to take a quick break now, folks, and we will be right back. Don't go away.
Jason McCourty here. Devin and myself started our Tackle Sickle Cell campaign about 10 years ago, and over the past decade to go towards local organizations and families dealing with sickle cell disease. It has always been a dream of ours to organize a mission trip in Africa. Project Nigeria has finally given us an opportunity to do so. With one of the largest concentrations of kids with sickle cell disease, this gives us a great opportunity to really create change. There are hundreds of thousands of little kids dealing with sickle cell, and what's even crazier is the mortality rate by age 5 is over 50%. This just breaks my heart, and we can do something about it. Please give and please help us create change in the sickle cell community around the world.
Okay, folks, welcome back. And I had to interrupt for me because I want to talk about this app that you just mentioned. What's it called, and tell us about it.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for the opportunity. So along the journey, and I think I mentioned at the beginning, I work for a technology company, and one of the benefits of this for me has been seeing technology as a enabler to so many things. I mean, we can see it all over the world, you know, how tech is really helping us. So I suddenly had this thought that, wow, so much to manage. You have to manage medication, you have to manage food, you have to manage so many things. How will one person remember all of this, especially when you have other children, you have a job, you have a house to run?
Yeah.
So I then thought about if there was an app that would enable me to keep a log of various things like medication, like pain. Now, one thing I want to be very clear about is that we have had an improvement in his quality of life. We haven't had a reduction of pain, as in we don't have crisis. No, it's just that the pain is less and we are able to do more at home to help manage it. So
how about the frequency? Have the frequency of crisis reduced?
I would say they've reduced, yeah. But what we experience is more of a chronic pain, which is, you know, kind of a lingering pain that comes but doesn't escalate to level 10. You know, we have levels. If my child says he has pain, the first question is, okay, where is the pain? What number is the pain? One of the questions you asked me in the first segment was, what are the triggers and or what has impacted, you know, the sickle cell crisis? Now, I'm the kind of mum that tries a lot of different things. So it became apparent that I wasn't keeping the correct logs of what I was trying, so that I could then look back and say, oh, during this period, we were doing this. Therefore, we saw that the pain was maybe, you know, from 9 to more like 5. And so but with an app and with data, you know, we can keep a log of all of these things. So that was one of the first thoughts I had was, wow, that would be amazing. As well as things like, you know, if I can go in and have a look at when I gave him medication last, when I need to give him the next one, you know, keeping track of the supplements. You know, we've spoken about supplements, but it's a job to actually give them to the child, for the child to take them, and for you to tick that we've done this work. Hydration, you know that water is very important for a child with sickle cell, and keeping to the right amount of water, you know, how many liters per day, being able to track that. So that these were all things that came to mind, and I just thought, okay, great. If there was an app, then please, I would love to have access to that. So that's where the idea came from, and then began work on developing this app. So yes.
What's the app called?
It's called the Eli app.
The Eli app. Okay, so
yes.
it's called the Eli app. All right, so that can be gotten on. Is it a free app? I'm assuming it is.
So we're currently in development, and
okay.
It will be a free app. Yes, is
okay.
The plan. Yes.
Okay, perfect. And this was certainly sounds like something that would definitely help parents around the world take better control of their children's health, and so on and so forth. So what can be done for those, in your opinion, for parents who don't have this kind of access?
That's a great question. And Nigeria has always been in my mind with this charity that I run. And we actually support children in Nigeria by sending them these wellness packs that I mentioned that I did during the pandemic. So we actually do provide them in Nigeria as well. And so I believe that with organizations like yours, we can help. It's going to be more of a manual process, but if people know there's somewhere they can come to collect packs, to help them on their journey, and to have, you know, it just means that you're doing it manually. You're having the people to help them instead of having the technology to help them. So in my opinion, that's the way that it can be managed, by way of making the education around this accessible, making it known that, you know, for example, the Brain and Body Foundation is here. You know, if you have a child between these ages, this is what we offer. So you can do the same thing. It's just about making the help accessible. Yeah.
Got it. Well, it's just great for resources like yours to be available. I mean, 5, 10 years ago, nobody would find anything about it. I remember parents were asking me, okay, what's they had consulted with me, and I told them what they needed, and the mother was like, "What do I need? Isn't there like a workbook or a system, a course that I can follow so I can know how best to take care of my kid?" And I was like, "Gosh, that is so true. That would have been such a great thing to offer these kids and offer these parents so that they can know. I mean, right from like a manual, so to speak, when they have a child that they've confirmed has a sickle cell disorder, they can know what to do from the first few days of life going on forwards, and know how best to set the kid up. Because from what I've seen, if you deal with those first few years of life and you catch it early and you start to put those building blocks in place, it's going to make such a huge difference for the rest of their lives.
I agree. I wish there was a manual for me back then.
Yeah. That's great. So another thing I wanted us to address real quick too is the mental health issues. I know many kids, they live with this, and parents too. Parents have a sense of guilt, and the kids have a sense of blame and condemnation. Why you're educated? Why didn't you know about this? Why couldn't you have stopped this? Why do you bring me into the world? They have to deal with the fact that most people will be telling them, even if their parents don't tell them, people will tell them that you're not gonna live till past 20. Just just enjoy what you have now. It's not gonna be long. And for some people, that's true. They're living with that mental burden day in, day out. That can be, in some cases, terrible. You mentioned hope. What do we have to say in such situations?
That's a great question, because I have a 9-year-old son, and as he began to verbalize the pain and the impact, it hurt more. To hear your child asking questions, it just takes it to a different level, especially to hear your child saying, "Will this be it forever?" And I say, "No, you're going to feel better. You're going to get better." He says, "How do you know, Mom? How?" These questions. But I would say that it only motivates me more to do more, to work with organizations like your own, because I believe there's strength in numbers. And when you're not fighting alone, it gives you hope. So all I have is hope. That's all I have. And also, when you look back and I can say, okay, it's better than it was 3-4 years ago. So I actually remind him of that. And I say, remember, Eli, when it used to be like this, and now it's like this. And you have to keep drinking your water. You have to so it's work, it's mindset work. But the mental health issue is definitely there. And this is why the parents need to be equipped and supported through this. It's a journey, and the options for every child are different. There are some people that have been able to go ahead with the bone marrow transplant, the child is cured. There are some that have been able to go on to hydroxyurea and they experience a better quality of life. There are some that never have crisis. That it's different in every case. And I think it's about making sure that the parents are aware of the options, and the goal has to be to limit the number of crises. Because if you can limit that, then you limit the trauma and you limit the mental health issues. So there's a lot of work to be done in that space. But mental health is a problem.
Yeah, for sure. But it's always, once people know that there's hope and there's some light at the end of the tunnel, that does significantly help with their mental health.
Yes.
And that's, like you said, that's what we're trying to do. It's, I guess, one of the reasons why we're doing this, why I'm so into this. As you know, our focus was always been on the brain and brain disorders. We started getting into sickle cell disease because of the kids who are coming in with strokes, which is a brain disorder. And then when I looked into it, I was like, this is terrible. I mean, the sheer scope of the problem. And now that we know that there's something that can be done, using nutrition and nutraceuticals, I feel it's a responsibility and a burden to be able to share this with other people. I know you and I have talked a lot about different options for LI, and I don't think we've exhausted them yet. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, this is my personal belief. There is the right nutraceutical and nutrient for your child. for every child. If one does not work, then there are others that work. I mean, we have too many stories of people who were even in worse conditions who had just a complete shutdown. I know we can shut down these crises. I know it's possible to shut down the pain just like that. There should be a movie called Snap, something. Wasn't there a movie about a snap? Was it Avengers? Was it Avengers or something? I don't know. I can't remember. But my point being that it is possible. We just haven't found the right nutrient or combination of nutrients. And I want to encourage you and other parents to keep on looking. It is possible. It is possible. We've had far more severe cases be taken care of. And in fact, so we're dealing with kids. Our main focus now is on kids, stopping that terrible statistic of death before the age of 5. That's our main focus now. But we also address older kids from 10 and above who are dealing with the crises and pain, because the body is beginning to change. It's much easier to deal with the younger kids, but as the kids grow older, the body is beginning to change. Some things are getting more permanent. So you have to reverse and fix certain things, but it's still possible. Then there are, of course, those who have had permanent damage. Maybe the hip joints they have a vascular necrosis of the head of the femur. They have eye problems. They have kidney problems, spleen problems. Even at that stage, there's a lot that can be done to relieve those problems. Why? Not just because of our medical acumen, but because of the potential and power of the human body to fix itself. And that's what we're focused on. The body has the ability and the wisdom, if given the right tools, if given the right environment, to reverse and fix itself. So we're working on those things. But I know time is gone, and I know you have to leave soon. So Funmi, thank you so much again for joining us on this. And I'm sure we will continue to work together to help kids, not just in Nigeria, but around the world as well. God bless. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I remember, folks, Christian Kids is a foundation, and the app is called Eli's app, right?
The Eli app, correct? Yes.
The Eli app. So check it out. You should let us know when it comes out. All right, folks. God bless. See you soon. Take care. Bye.
What's up, everybody? Devin McCourty here. I know Jason just gave you the full rundown of Tackle Sickle Cell, which we started about 10 years ago from our family member, our Aunt Winnie, who had the sickle cell disease. And, starting Tackle Sickle Cell Foundation and campaign in New Jersey, then it's been in Boston, Nashville, Cleveland, now it'll be in Miami as well. We've always had a dream of going somewhere else and doing a mission trip. And Project Nigeria is that. And Jay told you to give people some of the simple things we have right here in America that people with sickle cell have. So please hop on, jump aboard. Let's help make a huge difference with Project Nigeria and continue to change the life of people with sickle cell. Thank you and appreciate your support.